I woke up in a novel. One minute, I was asleep in my bed. The next, I was sitting bolt upright in a desk at school, blinking dumbly at the girl who'd just shaken me awake. "What's my name?" I asked, rubbing my hands together like a cartoon villain, waiting for her answer. "Sadie Miller. Did you sleep fry your brain or something?" Oh, I was Sadie Miller. I mentally scrolled through the entire plot of The Pure Heart of the Campus Queen, and finally, a memory of Sadie Miller clicked into place. Oh, hell no. I was the ultimate cannon fodder, the character who gets killed off in Chapter 3. The original Sadie was the designated lackey for the story's mean girl, a foot soldier in her campaign to bully the female lead. As a reward for her service, she gets beaten to death by the male lead, and her family's small company gets wiped off the map as an afterthought. You know what they say about the nail that sticks up getting hammered down? I was that nail, and right now was the exact moment the mean girl ordered me to do the bullying. Go give Chloe Martin a piece of your mind. I can't stand that holier-than-thou act of hers for one more second, Veronica Vance said, leaning against my desk, her brow furrowed in a perfect scowl. The author of this book really wasn't subtle with the naming conventions. Veronica the villain, Chloe the classic heroine. Veronica had to maintain her delicate, sweet girl persona for the male lead, Jackson, so she outsourced all her dirty work. She'd chosen me to do it, but I, for one, did not want to die. Trying to channel my inner pacifist, I attempted to reason with her. "We're all classmates. Don't you think that's a little harsh?" She rolled her eyes. 10 grand. You in or out? Damn, no wonder the original Sadie was so loyal. But was I the kind of person who would abandon my morals for money? "If you don't do it," she added, her voice dropping to a low hiss, "I'll find someone to do it to you." Yes, I was that kind of person now. So, a cannon fodder's life means nothing, huh? Threats on one side, a bribe on the other. It wasn't like I had a choice. I decided to take the money and do the job. After all, Veronica Vance could have me snuffed out in a second. Her family was one of Ashton City's founding 5, a dynasty built on old money and zero conscience. I swallowed back a wave of self-pity. After Veronica Venmo'd me the cash, I dutifully went to find Chloe. I finally located her in the girls' bathroom, in a stall. I kicked the door open. Chloe yelped, a sound of pure, unadulterated terror. I leaned against the doorframe, propped my head on my hand, and sighed as I squatted down to her eye level. Chloe just stared back, clutching a roll of toilet paper, completely bewildered. Who the hell has a hobby of watching people poop? I had no idea what to do. My head was starting to ache. I couldn't actually beat her up. I wasn't the original violence-prone Sadie. More importantly, I had zero interest in getting beaten to a bloody pulp and dumped in a river. But if I didn't handle this, Veronica would never let me go. I was trapped. A rock and a hard place. Either way, I was screwed. I let out another long sigh and tried to negotiate. "Okay, look, in a minute, I'm going to close this door. I'll hit you like super gently a couple of times, and you just have to scream like you're being murdered. Can you do that? Make sure anyone outside can hear it." "I'm just following orders," I added. "We'll put on a little show, and I can report back that the job is done." I knew Veronica had probably cleared the hallway and was listening right outside the bathroom door. But Chloe didn't know that. She just looked confused. After a moment of thought, she tried to explain that her only immediate goal in life was to finish her business in peace. "Can we please talk about this after I'm done in here?" I shook my head, putting on my best school bully face. "Nope, you have to agree first. If you don't, I'm taking your toilet paper." She gave me the kind of deadpan, seen-it-all look you see in memes. I was, in fact, the kind of monster who would leverage a person's most vulnerable moment. She sighed in defeat and agreed. I closed the stall door, letting her finish in peace. A minute later, the toilet flushed, and Chloe walked out. I raised my fist high, ready to act. She flinched, squeezing her eyes shut, and my resolve crumbled. Forget it. I couldn't hit her. To make some noise, I slapped myself hard across the face twice. The sharp cracks echoed in the tiled room. Outside, I imagined Veronica nodding in satisfaction. Chloe jumped. "What are you doing? Why are you hitting yourself?" I gave her a pained smile. "Making some noise. Gotta keep Veronica happy." Veronica and Chloe were famous rivals. Chloe was smart. She instantly understood who had sent me. I couldn't actually hurt her, but I could not hurt her. Being cannon fodder was an impossible job. I grabbed a nearby mop and started banging it against the stall door. Quick, scream a little for me. Chloe, it turned out, was a born actress. The scream she let out was Oscar-worthy, a sound of pure, gut-wrenching terror. Sadie, please stop. Don't hit me. I'm sorry. I'll never cross you guys again. I gave her a huge thumbs up. Then I found a bucket and filled it with water. Mind if I dump some of this on you? It's hot out today. You won't even mind, right? Chloe looked uneasy, but being all wet and sticky is so uncomfortable. I pressed my hands together, begging, please, I have to make you look miserable or Veronica will kill me. If it makes you feel better, you can hit me a couple of times. Just let me splash you. She seemed to understand my predicament, and maybe she realized that if I didn't make it look convincing, Veronica would just send someone else next time. She nodded. I only splashed a little on her back. And just like that, our spectacular bullying scene was a wrap. I strode out of the bathroom like I owned the place, with Chloe trailing behind me, crying her eyes out. I jogged over to Veronica. Well, boss? Satisfied? A smirk played on her lips. She took out her phone. A second later, a $10,000 Venmo notification popped up on my screen. Good work, she said. I'll call you next time. My happy, money-grabbing smile vanished. Next time? Lady, are you trying to get me killed? But I didn't say no, because, damn, she paid well. Worst case, we'd just have to put on another play. The next morning, I was cornered in an alley on my way to school. You're Sadie Miller, right? The guy in the lead sneered. The one who messed with Chloe? You got a death wish. Great. From the sound of it, this had to be the male lead's posse. Wow. Are we really jumping to the beat-me-to-death plot point this fast? Can't a girl live for more than 2 episodes? Fighting back tears, I tried to explain. I didn't hurt Chloe. We were just acting. Didn't hurt her? Half the school heard her screaming yesterday. She went home soaked. If I hadn't checked the security footage, I wouldn't have caught you. The guy in front was practically vibrating with rage. Jack, why are you even talking to her? One of his friends chimed in. She made your girl suffer. Let's just give her a taste of her own medicine. Okay, definitely the male lead's crew. Only the hero gets a name like Jackson Pierce. Jack grabbed a handful of my hair. Anyone who hurts her pays the price, he growled. My scalp screamed in protest, and the pain made my eyes water. It also made me furious. What is wrong with you? Don't you listen? Did Chloe herself tell you I hit her? You just show up and start attacking me without knowing a thing? Are you insane? Jack's fist slammed into my stomach. Abusers never admit what they did. Chloe's too kind to rat you out. You deserve to die. I doubled over, clutching my gut, my breakfast threatening to make a reappearance. I was speechless. Why would the hero of the story ever listen to the cannon fodder's side? There were too many of them. Even if I fought back, I was hopelessly outnumbered. Nope. Discretion is the better part of valor. I had to run. If I could make it to a crowded area, I might just survive this. Jack stomped on my leg, grinding his heel into my calf. I cried out, grabbed a loose rock from the pavement, and jabbed it hard into his shin. He swore, stumbling back. That was my chance. I scrambled up and bolted. Get her. They were right behind me. My heart hammered against my ribs. Was the male lead in this novel some kind of rabid dog? Why was he so relentless? Jack scooped up a rock and hurled it at me. He must have had some kind of hero halo buff because it hit me square in the back of the head with pinpoint accuracy. My health bar, already critically low, bottomed out. My skull rang like a bell. I reached up and my hand came back wet and red. Blood was pouring down my neck. My ears started ringing, my vision blurred, and the world tilted sideways as I collapsed onto the concrete. I have to be the lamest transmigrator in history, I thought. Game over in less than 48 hours. I woke up to the sharp, antiseptic smell of a hospital. My head was wrapped in so many bandages I felt like a mummy, and every slight movement sent a spike of pain through my skull. Chloe was sitting by my bed, her eyes red and puffy. Ouch! What are you doing here? How did I get to a hospital? Am I alive? The second I spoke, her face crumpled with guilt, and she leaned forward. Sadie, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't explain things to Jack and his friends, and now you're hurt because of me. Does your head still hurt? The doctor said you have a mild concussion and you need a rest. I'll take care of you for the next few days. Just tell me if you need anything. I sighed. It's not your fault. It was just the plot doing its thing. For a minor character like me, surviving it all was a win. Rule 1. Stay the hell away from the main characters. The door opened, and Jackson Pierce himself walked in, holding a fruit basket. Chloe, who had been so gentle and sweet with me, instantly went cold. I rolled my eyes, making it clear I didn't want to see him either. What are you doing here? Chloe snapped. Can't you see Sadie doesn't want you here? Jackson, who had been a raging monster when he was beating me, now looked like a scolded puppy. He didn't dare talk back. In the original novel, this was the point where the main couple was in their will-they-won't-they phase. My beating was supposed to be the catalyst. Jack's violent retribution against me would prove his deep love for Chloe, and they'd finally get together. He, the rebellious sole heir to the powerful Pierce family, would be tamed by her love, becoming utterly devoted. But because of me, the process was the same, but the result was all wrong. Jack did what the script demanded, but Chloe got mad at him for it. He stood with his hands behind his back like a kid in the principal's office. Sadie, I'm sorry, he mumbled. I'm misunderstood. Please forgive me. He had literally put me in the hospital. I wasn't feeling particularly magnanimous. Forgiveness was not on the menu. I turned my head away, pointedly ignoring him. Seeing my reaction, Chloe's brow furrowed. She pointed to the door and told Jack to get out. He didn't move. Instead, he shuffled over to her, looking miserable, and tugged on her sleeve. I know I messed up. Please don't make me leave. What the hell, Jack? What's with the kick puppy routine? As mad as I was at him for, almost killing me, I couldn't help it. I was a sucker for romance. And this was the main couple. A sappy grin spread across my face. Nothing better than watching the female lead put the male lead in his place. It was my favorite trope. He looked so pathetic, so trainable. I made a mental note to write some seriously messed up fanfiction about him later as revenge. Over the next few days, while I recovered, Chloe took care of me tirelessly, and Jack was demoted to her personal errand boy, fetching things for me on command. For a cannon fodder, I was living the high life. Soon, the mummy wrapping came off my head, and I was discharged. I thought I could finally return to a quiet life at school. I was wrong. I got cornered after school again. This time, it was Veronica and her crew. Seriously? It's like I had to choose between pissing off the hero or the villain, and somehow I'd managed to piss them both off. Veronica stood in the center of her posse, arms crossed, blocking my path. Sadie Miller, taking my money and then buddying up with Chloe Martin? Who gave you the guts to double-cross me? Okay, I admit what I did wasn't exactly professional, but bullying is worse. God, being a side character is hard. My brain went into overdrive. I put on my best performance, my voice trembling with fake tears. You've got it all wrong. I would never team up with Chloe. I live and die for you, Veronica. I beat the crap out of her last time. You heard it yourself. Veronica wasn't buying it. A cold smile touched her lips as she grabbed me by the throat. Beat her up? You mean you put on a little show for me? If you beat her up, why was she at the hospital taking care of you? You think I'm an idiot? Crap. This villain had a brain. Given how obsessed Veronica was with Chloe, she probably knew Chloe's bathroom schedule down to the minute. Of course, she'd know about the frequent trips to the hospital. I laughed awkwardly. Who knows? Maybe she has late-stage Stockholm Syndrome. You're still lying to me. Get her. At Veronica's command, her minions swarmed me. My life sucks, I thought. At this point, I had nothing to lose. As they kicked and punched me, I fought back like a cornered animal, scratching and biting, all dignity gone. But one against many is a losing battle. I was covered in scrapes and bruises. The wound on my head, barely healed, split open again. Blood trickled down my cheek. I tasted copper in my mouth. I gathered up a mouthful of bloody spit and launched it right at Veronica's face. Even if I couldn't win, I could at least gross her out. She shrieked and recoiled. Tissues. Sadie, you're insane. That's disgusting. Low impact, high humiliation. That was my strategy. It would probably earn me an even worse beating, but damn, it felt good. What are you doing? A girl suddenly burst through the circle, shoving my attackers aside and shielding me with her body. My vision was blurry with blood, but the silhouette was familiar. Veronica recognized her instantly and stomped her foot. Chloe Martin, you dare show your face? You got lucky last time. This time, I'll send you and your little friend to hell together. It was Chloe. She came to save me. A wave of relief washed over me. Surely her main character plot armor would protect us both. Veronica grabbed Chloe's collar, her hand raised to strike. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jack appeared. He caught Veronica's wrist in an iron grip, stopping the slap midair. Whoa, the hero has a teleportation skill. Heroine in danger, hero to the rescue. Is this what plot armor looks like? I was getting beaten to a pulp and nobody showed. Chloe is about to get slapped, and he materializes out of thin air. I am officially jealous. The moment Veronica saw Jack, her entire demeanor shifted. Her eyes filled with tears, her face a mask of fragile beauty. Jackson, you're hurting me, she whimpered. I was seeing stars. Hello? Maybe look at me? I'm practically a human fountain over here. You're hurt? What about me? Jack ignored me completely, going into full-on protective mode. Veronica Vance, if you ever lay a hand on Chloe again, I will come after you and your entire family. And I won't be nice about it. Veronica started sobbing, looking for all the world like I was the one who had just beaten her up. Jackson, how could you? I love you so much. Is there nothing left between us? She cried. What's so great about her? Family looks. How am I not better than her in every way? Why won't you even look at me? I almost rolled my eyes out of my head. Because she's the main character. It's that simple. Chloe delivered the classic line. Someone as cruel as you? How could Jackson ever love you? Get out of my sight, Jack said, shoving Veronica away without a second thought. She ran off, weeping dramatically. Jack pulled Chloe into his arms, checking her over from head to toe. Are you okay, Chloe? Did she hurt you? I'm fine. Chloe's fine, I rasped, but I'm not. Could you two maybe pause the romance novel cover shoot and pay attention to the girl bleeding out on the ground? I think I might be dying. A little. Chloe gasped, finally remembering me. She rushed over and helped me up, guiding me back to the hospital. Familiar room, familiar bed, familiar doctor. The doctor stroked his chin, a thoughtful expression on his face. You look familiar. I smiled weakly. That's because I was just discharged yesterday. Oh, it's you again. I wanted to cry. Yes, it's me again, the unluckiest person alive. You're a young girl. Why do you get into fights all the time? Don't you know it hurts to get injured like this? I was too tired to even be angry. Did he think I wanted this? My life was a non-stop game of Temple Run, with me as the one constantly being chased. The bandage I'd worn for less than a day was wrapped back around my head. The mummy returns. During my second hospital stay, Chloe visited me almost every day. Being taken care of by the novel's heroine wasn't so bad. While I was laid up, a major plot point dropped. The Northwood Prep gossip blog exploded. Did you guys hear? Chloe Martin is actually the long-lost daughter of the Sterling family. The Sterlings? As in one of the founding five. No way, wasn't she on scholarship? Is this legit? Totally. Mr. Sterling himself picked her up from school in his limo. I wasn't surprised by the big reveal. It was standard heroine procedure. Of course, she had to have a background that matched the male leads. Now that Chloe was on equal footing with Veronica, their future showdowns were going to be epic. I just hoped I wouldn't get caught in the crossfire. My wounds healed, and it was time for discharge again. I was planning on going back to school, but I got a summons from the parents I'd never met in this world. The original novel didn't say much about them, other than that they ran a small company that depended on the Van Cess goodwill. When I got home, my parents were sitting stiffly on the sofa. Next to them, a guy who had to be my brother was slouched over, absorbed in a game on his phone. In the original timeline, I'd be 6 feet under by now, so this was all new territory. But the looks on my parents' faces told me this wasn't going to be a happy family reunion. Mom, Dad, I said awkwardly. My father spoke first. You have the nerve to come back? Before you started at Northwood, I told you one thing, get on Miss Vance's good side. And what did you do? You went against her. My mother chimed in. Sadie, you're so thoughtless. Do you have any idea how much money your father has lost because you anger the Van Cess? How dare you cross them? The guy on the couch didn't even look up from his game. Yes, sis. Thanks to you, my allowance got cut. If you tank the company, how am I supposed to inherit anything? I hadn't even sat down yet, and I was already being bombarded. A hot flame of anger ignited in my chest. I still had a bandage on my head. Were they blind? Didn't they care at all? Are you my real parents? I asked, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Veronica Vance put me in the hospital, and you haven't even asked how I am. My father's expression didn't soften. So Miss Vance hit you. Just endure it. You've endured it before, haven't you? Wounds heal. You shouldn't have burned that bridge, if only for your brother's sake. Oh, So Veronica had a history of hitting me, even before I showed up. They knew. They just didn't care. To them, I was just a pawn to curry favor with the Van Cess, a tool to ensure their precious son had a comfortable life. Now I understood. Of course, the Cannon Fodder's family life was a toxic wasteland. Sexist parents and a golden child brother. The worst possible starting hand. My father's tone became commanding. You're coming with me to the gala tonight. You will fix your relationship with Miss Vance. And while you're there, you will mingle with the sons of other wealthy families. It's time you started thinking about an arranged marriage and making one final contribution to this family. They're trying to squeeze every last drop of value out of me. Any normal person hearing this would want to grab a machine gun. I laughed coldly. You really know how to use a person up? Don't you, Dad? Phoenix, I would fix my relationship with Veronica Vance. You bet I would. By the time the gala started, I was ready. I wore a dramatic black and red gown, the perfect outfit for my grand performance. On the surface, I was calm. Inside, I was cackling maniacally. Tremble before me, you heirs and heiresses. If King Kong could take Manhattan, I could take this gala. Every powerful family my father wanted to impress, I was going to offend. He wanted me to pave the way for my brother? In his dreams. I hated socializing, so I found a quiet corner to sip champagne. But trouble always finds me. A portly man about my father's age waddled over, a slimy smile on his face. He reached out to touch me, and I sidestepped him neatly. His plan foiled, he pouted. You've got no manners, little girl. It's your lucky day that I've taken an interest in you. Don't be ungrateful. I could handle being pushed around by the main characters, but this guy? A fellow C-list extra? Who did he think he was? I didn't hold back. You can keep that good fortune for yourself, old man. You're going to break a tooth trying to chew on something this young. Don't be so shallow, he sputtered. God may have closed the door for me, and he clearly didn't open a window. I finished. You're so rude. Thank you for the compliment. He looked like he was trying to punch a pillow. There are more friends than enemies in business, he threatened. Tell me your family name. I'll make you regret this. I smiled sweetly and pulled out a sign I prepared earlier, hanging around my neck. He stared, speechless. In big, bold letters, it read, I'm with Miller Corp. Mess with me and my dad will sue you into oblivion. See? I said. Now I'll buzz off. I shooed him away like a fly and made a beeline for Veronica Vance. She saw my outfit, saw the sign, and for the first time, her perfect composure cracked. She looked at me with the same baffled expression as Chloe in the bathroom stall. I puffed out my chest, snatched the wine glass from her hand, and flung its contents in her face. Red wine streamed down her cheeks, ruining her perfect makeup and staining her white dress. She looked like she was about to short-circuit. She clearly had never realized I was a complete psychopath. Sadie, what are you doing? What am I doing? Getting even. She thought she could have her goons beat me half to death and walk away and skate? Payback's a bitch. I didn't answer. I smashed the wine glass on the floor, picked up a sharp shard, and drew it swiftly across her arm. A thin red line appeared on her pale skin. Veronica shrieked, tears springing to her eyes as she called me a lunatic. The precious Miss Vance had probably never experienced so much as a paper cut. Her father rushed to her side. Who are you? How dare you touch my daughter? Blood had spattered onto my face, but I was smiling a wide, bright smile. I held up my sign for him to see. Name's Sadie Miller, of Miller Corp. My dad told me I could do whatever I want. So if I hit you, you just have to take it. The entire ballroom was staring. My own father looked like he'd seen a ghost. I could almost hear his thoughts. My life is over. Someone from Miller Corp dares to be so arrogant. Mister, Vance bellowed. Don't you want to do business in this city anymore? I shrugged. Why don't you ask my dad? My father, his face ashen, scurried over, bowing and scraping. Mister, Vance, I'm so sorry. My daughter, she had an accident. She's not right in the head. Nothing she says is true. Then he turned and kicked me. You worthless girl. Apologize to Mister Vance right now. I rubbed my aching shin and played dumb. But Dad, didn't you say at home that you backed me up? You told me not to be afraid of that old crook, that you'd replace him as one of the founding five soon enough. Mister Vance laughed, a humorless, ugly sound. I have never met someone so delusional, he roared. This isn't over. You will give my daughter an explanation. On cue, Veronica started wailing. My father, ever the pragmatist, sold me out without a second thought. Mr. Vance, do whatever you want with her. I won't stop you. I disown her. From this day forward, she has nothing to do with the Miller family. Mr. Vance sneered, his eyes cold and reptilian. You will cut off your own arm to pay for my daughter's. Do that, and I'll let this go. Otherwise, you and your precious corporation are finished. I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. The shard of glass I was still holding flew from my hand, slicing across Mr. Vance's mouth. A mouth that vile, I said calmly, is better off split in two. Compared to my calm Mr. Vance was anything but. He clutched his bleeding mouth, his voice a muffled scream. Security! Kill her! Kill her now! A group of black-suited bodyguards surrounded me. Mr. Vance's words were garbled by his injury, making him sound so ridiculous I almost laughed. I'd like to see you try. At the critical moment, Chloe pushed through the crowd and stood in front of me, shielding me. Mr. Vance, ganging up on one person isn't a good look, is it? And who are you? Another nobody who wants to cross the Vance family. Before Chloe could answer, a powerful voice cut through the room. She is my daughter, the daughter of the Sterling family. I wonder, is that enough to go against the Vances? It was Mr. Sterling. He planned to announce Chloe's identity tonight anyway. The execution was a little more dramatic than he'd anticipated, but the outcome was the same. He and his wife had just found their long-lost daughter. They would move heaven and earth for her. Whatever Chloe wanted, she got. Besides, the Sterlings and the Vances were already rivals, their peace a fragile truce. Chloe had told him everything Veronica had done to her over the years. This was all the excuse he needed. Miss Miller is my daughter's friend, Mr. Sterling declared, which makes her a friend of the Sterling family. No one will touch her without my permission. Mr. Vance's face was a kaleidoscope of fury and shock. Sterling, are you sure about this? You want to start a war with my family over this little brat? What if you add my family to the mix? Jackson Pierce stepped forward, taking his place beside Chloe. Mr. Vance might not have recognized Chloe, but everyone knew Jackson, the infamous sole heir to the Pierce fortune. Against the Sterlings alone, the Vances might have stood a chance. But against the Sterlings and the Pierces? 2 against 1? It was a losing fight. I never expected such a dramatic reversal. I never expected Chloe and Jack to be so loyal, to bring the full weight of their families down to protect me. Mr. Vance sputtered, pointing a trembling finger, but no words came out. Finally, he stormed out, his family trailing behind him. With their departure, a tense calm returned to the gala. Chloe pulled me aside, giggling as she poked the sign on my chest. I never knew you were such a badass. You completely shut Veronica down. I grinned, just giving her a taste of her own medicine. From now on, the Sterling family has your back. The Pierce family too, Jack added. A warmth spread through my chest. Being protected by the main characters felt pretty damn good. The gala ended. As I was leaving, I saw my father waving frantically at me, then jogging over, his face stretched into a sickeningly sweet smile. Sadie, my dear, why didn't you ever tell me you were friends with the Sterling heiress and the Pierce heir? You had your old man so worried. I smirked. That wasn't what he was saying an hour ago. The man could change his tune faster than a pop star. Didn't you disown me? What I do and who I'm friends with is none of your business. He didn't even flinch at my tone, just kept up the fawning act. Oh, Sadie, don't be like that. I was just angry. You can't take a father's words so seriously. My smile was pure sugar. Every word a father says is gold. How could I not take it seriously? Since you feel I no longer belong to the Miller family, I'm happy to oblige. Goodbye. I turned to leave. He tried to stop me, but Chloe appeared at my side, linking her arm through mine. Mr. Miller, she said, her voice polite but firm. Sadie said she doesn't want to see you. Please have some self-respect. My father's fake smile faltered, but he didn't dare argue with Chloe. She beamed at me. Come stay at my place. Our house is huge. There's plenty of room. I happily accepted. I moved into the Sterling mansion, but my father didn't give up. He sent me a string of long, rambling texts, all about how I could leverage my new connections to help my brother. Sadie, you can't forget your family now that you've made it. I worked so hard to raise you. Don't you feel any gratitude? You should talk to the Sterlings and the Pierces, See if they can throw some business my way. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm a transmigrator, not your actual daughter. You can't guilt-trip me with a bond that never existed, especially not after how you treated me. Who in their right mind would volunteer to be a tool? I stared at the messages popping up on my screen like I was observing a rare and fascinating insect. When I'd had enough, I blocked his number. Then I blocked every other member of the Miller family. 3 months later, news came that Miller Corp had gone bankrupt. The Van Cess had crushed them. I felt nothing, not a single ripple. In fact, I almost laughed. My father, in a last desperate act, leaked everything he knew about the Van Cess shady business dealings, severely damaging their reputation. Seeing their enemy weakened, the Sterlings and the Pierces moved in for the kill, systematically dismantling the Vance empire until they were forced out of the Founding Five. And on a happier note, the Sterlings and the Pierces were joining forces through marriage. Chloe and Jack were getting married. I was genuinely happy for them. Not only did Jack buy them a mansion, but he and Chloe pooled their money to buy a house for me, their honorary family member. Only main characters could be this generous. I was moved to tears. Rich people really are different. They give out houses as party favors. Chloe asked me to be her maid of honor. At the magnificent wedding, she was radiant in a pure white gown. As I walked her down the aisle toward Jack, I was overcome with emotion. I felt like a proud mother watching her daughter get married. After today, she whispered to me, "Jack and I will take care of you together." Such a good kid. In that case, I whispered back, "I guess I'll just have to terrorize the city under the protection of the main characters." This cannon fodder was more than happy to just lie back and enjoy the ride. End.